morning and a very warm welcome. You are watching JanataTelevision and this is the English Bulletin with me, Anustha Acharya. The top stories first. The country marks 21 years of royal massacre. Candlelight ceremony held in memory of late King Birendra. Government issues land use regulation. The country's land divided into 10 zones. NOC adjusts prices of petroleum products. Prices of petrol, diesel and kerosene down by Rs 10 per litre. China bans Russian airlines in its airspace. The move comes after Putin allows re-registration of aircraft ownership to avoid seizure. And Portugal and Spain shares the spoils in National League. Opener Horta scores goal for the first time in 8 years of Portugal. And now the news in detail. A program was organized in the memory of late King Birendra yesterday. The Birendra Peace Foundation organized the 21st Memorial Program and offered garland on the statue of King Birendra in the capital. The speakers at the program remembered the late king as a peace-loving personality who contributed in the national development. On the occasion, chairperson of Jagaran Media House Ranjit Dhamala expressed his view that the late King Birendra was a democratic ruler. Nepal was declared a zone of peace and democracy was restored during his regime. King Birendra was a far-sighted diplomat as well, according to Dhamala. Meanwhile, the Rashtriya Prajatantra Party conducted a candle lighting at the gate of Naranhiti Museum yesterday. RPP Central member Saraswati Adhikari recalled that Birendra was patriotic and citizen-loving king. He was a man of democratic ideal, Adhikari added. King Birendra and his entire family members were killed in the royal massacre on June 1, 2001. The bodies of the victims of the Tara airplane crash were handed to their families yesterday. According to the TU Teaching Hospital, the remains of all 22 people who died in the crash were handed to their families after post-mortem examination on the bodies were concluded on Wednesday night. 4 Indians and 2 Germans were among those killed in the crash, and the last rites of Indian nationals were conducted at the Pasupati Arya Ghat, while the remains of Germans are to be taken to Germany. Tara Air's Twin Otter aircraft had gone missing on June 29 as it was an en route to junction of Mustang from Pokhara, Kaski. It was found crashed on a cliff on the base of the Manapati Peak at Thasang Rural Municipality 2 at Mustang in following morning. A total of 22 people, including 3 crew members, were on board the plane and none of them survived the crash. The government has issued the land use regulation dividing land into 10 zones based on the features. A report. Minister for Land Management, Cooperatives and Poverty Alleviation, Sasi Shrestha, issued the regulation amid a press conference on Wednesday and informed about the classification of the land. As per the government's decision, the country's land has been categorized as agricultural zone, residential zone, commercial zone, industrial zone, area of mines and minerals, forest zone, public use zone, area of cultural and archaeological importance, and other based on topographical features, efficiency and utility of land, its existing use and necessity. The minister said that the regulation prohibits commercial plotting of land and its sale in areas except in classified areas. The regulation have the provision for one land zone, subzone and fruit production subzone according to Minister Shrestha. According to the minister, federal, province and local level will prepare land use plans that should not contradict with the plans of the higher level government. Likewise, the regulation do not entertain the use of the land classified into one category for another purpose, and the land use classification is changeable through the due process. Likewise, the federal government can alter the use of land. Valuable minerals are found in the land use zone. If priority projects were to be operated in it for any other plausible reason, like the land failing in the international border security area, development, tourism, World Heritage Sites, etc., the local level can change the land use for the purpose of disaster risk management, shifting the insecure settlements, preparing the basis and criteria required for regulating and checking the land plotting and demarcation. Provision has been made for implementing the land pooling program for the purpose of mechanization of agricultural land. A meeting of the Council of Ministers had on Monday, May 23, approved the regulation. This is Janata Bulletin. We'll be right back after a short break. Welcome back. After the break, we continue with other national news. The government yesterday confirmed 10 new cases of COVID-19 across the country. According to the Ministry of Health and Population, the number of active cases of COVID-19 has dropped to 150 after 9 people recovered from the disease. So far, a total of 979,137 people have tested positive for the virus in Nepal, while 966,962 people have already recovered. No new death from the virus was reported yesterday. The death toll from the virus remains constant at 11,951. Nepal is currently among top 66 countries affected by coronavirus. USA tops the list with 85.72 million cases, followed by India with 43.15 confirmed cases. The virus has infected more than 531.39 million people worldwide and has claimed over 6.32 million lives. Newly appointed Chief of Nepal Police Dhiraj Pratap Singh has assured there won't be unnecessary intervention in transfer and promotion of police officials. Speaking at a program at the police headquarters yesterday, IGP Singh said that the transfer and promotion of officers will be based on their work performance. He claimed that the trend of junior officers getting promoted before the senior ones will come to an end. He said that the best officer deserves transfer to the suitable department and promotion. He also pledged to give continuity to the works initiated by his predecessors. Singh also promised to find the truth behind the rape and murder of Nirmala Pantak. The government had appointed Singh to the post of IGP a month ago. However, this appointment was challenged in court by another aspirant. The case is yet to be settled. After the incidents of sexual violence against women and children started coming out one after another in the country, debates have started from the roads to the House of Representatives on how to reduce sexual violence. A report. Although the incidents of sexual abuse and rape are highly sensitive in terms of guilt, there is not much such debate in the society on such issues. However, in recent times, two incidents of sexual violence in public through social media have again caught everyone's attention. Pressure from around the world to change the law on sexual violence and rape has increased after two teenagers who were sexually assaulted broke their silence after a long time and made public their past abuses. Pressure is increasing in Parliament to change the deadline for sexual violence and rape.
यस्ता घटनाहरू धेरै चाहिँ नि भएका छन् र त्यसको चाहिँ बाहिर आउन नसकेका जुन घटनाहरू छन् उनीहरूले त्यो चाहिँ किन भन्दा मानसिक हिसाबले सबभन्दा धेरै तयार हुनु पर्यो मानसिक हिसाबले हैन तयार भइसकेपछि उनीहरू जुन दिन भन्न तयार हुन्छन् त्यो दिन पाउनुपर्छ भनेर यसलाई चाहिँ हदम्याद राखिनु हुँदैन बरु यसको चाहिँ अनुसन्धान र अभियोजनको पक्षलाई चाहिँ हामीले सुदृढ गर्नुपर्छ भन्ने हिसाबले अब अहिले चाहिँ त्यो अध्यादेश पनि प्रतिस्थापन विधेयक दर्ता भएको छ त्यसको बारेमा छलफल होला.
Rape of girls and adolescents who are always neglected by the families and societies are forced to hide their pain. When a victim mustered courage to file a case, it is already too late due to the statute of limitations. Although women have been active in amending the law for the long time, the women parliamentarians have accused the male MPs of not to being ready to amend the law for fear of conviction if the law is enacted. As the incidence of sexual violence is increasing in the society, there is a demand to give death penalty to the culprits who does not seem possible under the law of Nepal.
लुप होल्सहरू थाहा पाएर कसरी हामी कोअपरेट गर्न सक्छौँ गभर्नमेन्ट अथोरिटिजहरू पनि कति धेरै नयाँ कुराहरू आज सिक्दैछौँ कि जस्तै त्यो रेपिस्टहरूलाई कति धेरै पनिसमेन्टहरू छ तर हामीलाई चाहिँ थाहा छैन ह्याङ्गिङ द रेपिस्ट भनेर मात्र हामी लागि पर्छौँ तर त्यो चाहिँ सोल्युसन होइन भन्छौँ त्यो ह्याङ गर्नुभन्दा अरू लहरू ल्याएर हामीले यो रोक्न सक्ने क्षमता छ हामीमा नेपालको कन्स्टिट्युसनलाई वर्ल्डमा पनि एकदम रेकग्नाइज गर्छ स्ट्रङ कन्स्टिट्युसन भनेर.
Statistics shows that most of the victims of rape and sexual violence are women in the age group of 11 to 25 years and children, and the culprits are men in the age group of 19 to 35 years. About 75% of rapes are committed by close relatives. Since self-discipline is needed to reduce the incidence of such violence, parental supervision and the knowledge they impart plays a huge role. And now the news from economic front. Nepal Oil Corporation has slashed the price of petrol, diesel and kerosene by 10 per litre. With the new price list, petrol will cost Rs 170 per litre, while diesel and kerosene will cost Rs 153 a litre each. With the public life affected badly due to price hike of petroleum products, in the last few weeks, the government had directed the NOC for the price adjustment equal to infrastructure tax and petroleum products. The NOC said prices of cooking gas and aviation fuel will remain unchanged. Currently, the price of cooking gas cylinder is Rs 1,800, while the price of aviation fuel for domestic flights is Rs 66 per litre. Time for a short break here at Janata Bulletin. Stay tuned for international news. Welcome back. Now the international news. China has barred Russian airlines from flying owned jetliners into its airscape, the Russian news outlet RBK reported after President Vladimir Putin threw the aircraft ownership into doubt by allowing them to be registered in Russia to avoid seizure under sanction over Moscow's attack on Ukraine. The European Union, home to major aircraft leasing companies, banned the sale or lease of aircraft of Russian carriers in February. Putin responded by approving the re-registration measure in March, which prompted suggestions for foreign owners may never recover planes worth billions of dollars. China's air regulator asked all foreigners carriers last month to update ownership information and other details, RBK said, citing two unidentified sources. It said Russian airlines that could not provide documents showing their aircraft were registered abroad were barred from Chinese airspace. The Civil Aviation Administration of China did not immediately respond to a request for confirmation and details of the decision. A 17-year-old Palestinian has been killed by Israeli forces near the occupied West Bank city of Ramallah, a Palestine Red Crescent Society has said. Palestinian Man news agency quoted the Red Crescent as saying that the boy, identified as Odeh Mohammad Odeh, arrived at the Palestine Medical Complex in Ramallah with a bullet wound to the chest. He was shot by Israeli forces in Al Media, a village west of Ramallah, it added. Doctors tried to save his life, but he died as a result of a very critical injury. The Red Crescent was quoted as saying on Thursday. Odeh was the fourth Palestinian to be killed by Israeli forces in the West Bank in 2 days. Ayman Mohammad Maseh, 29, was killed on Thursday morning during a priced-on Israeli military set on the Tise refugee camp on southern city of Bethlehem, according to Palestinian Ministry of Health. Maseh was a father of 3 and a former prisoner who spent 3 years in Israeli jails, Palestinian prisoner rights group said. You are watching Janata Bulletin, and now the latest from the world of sports. Ricardo Horta talked on his first Portugal appearance in almost 8 years as they drew the Spain in the Nations League opener in Seville. Spain's Alvaro Morata scored the opening goal, finishing off a sleek move involving Xavi and Pablo Sarabia. Braga's Horta, who won a first cap as a teenager in 2014, came off the bench and talked home Joao Cancelo's cross. It is almost 10 years since this fixture has won by either side, with the last 5 meetings all draws. Jordi Alba should have won the game for Spain when he headed wide from 8 years out. Spain's Carlos Soler and Portugal's forward Rafael Leao surrendered two good opportunities each, with the host ahead 1-0 through Morata's 25th minute effort. The visitor, who won the 2019 tournament, brought on Cristiano Ronaldo in the second half, but he was not involved in the 82nd minute equalizer, which was Horta's first international goal. This is only the second time in 9 games in all competitions that Spain have not won. The other was last year's Nations League final defeat by France. England's new era under captain Ben Stokes and coach Brendan McCullum got off to a chaotic start as 17 wickets fell on a first day of the first test against New Zealand at Lord's. New Zealand were bowled out for 132, only for England to slump to 116 in reply. Though New Zealand won the toss, the conditions offered movements to the home side. The debutant Matthew Potts and the record James Anderson's exploited with 4 wickets apiece. However, Colin de Grandhomme's 42 not out-dragged the Black Caps from 45-7, with the last 3 wickets adding 87 runs. Still, England were in wrong position at 59-0 and 92-2, only to lose 5 wickets for 8 runs in a blur in inexplicable strokes. All this on a day when Jack Leach had to be withdrawn from the match with conclusion after landing awkwardly while trying to save a boundary in just the 6th over. Leach has been replaced by Lancashire's leg spinner Matt Parkinson, who started the day in Manchester and ended it on the verge of battling in his Test debut. We are at the end of Janata Bulletin, and the headlines once again. The country marks 21 years of Royal Massacre. Candlelight ceremony held in memory of late King Virendra. Government issues land use regulation. The country's land divided into 10 zones. NOC adjusts prices of petroleum products. Prices of petrol, diesel and kerosene down by ₹10 per litre. China bans Russian airlines in its airspace. The move comes after Putin allows re-registration of aircraft ownership to avoid seizure. And Portugal and Spain share the spoils in Nations League opener. Horta scores goal for the first time in 8 years for Portugal. And that's all from the English News Desk for today. You can follow Janata Television and our programs on various social media platforms, including on our website janatasamachar.com. Keep watching Janata Television. Namaste.